Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
All right, 426, Pete in Los Angeles. Oh, that's my fault. Sorry, Pete in Los Angeles.
Yes, hi, Randy.
Hi.
I have to admit it. I, too, like that group of women who have not been assaulted by Roy Moore. I, too, although I'm not a woman, but I, too, have not been assaulted by Roy Moore.
Oh, it's a small world. I also have not been assaulted by Roy Moore.
You're kidding.
No, crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. How much more evidence do these freaks in Alabama need in order to not send us a pedophile in the U.S. Senate?
They don't care about right or wrong. They care about self-interest and power and money and...
Oh, no. The people in Alabama do not care about power and money. The people in Alabama, they care about tribes. They care about being, Republican before they care about children. This is why I never want to hear from anybody in the South's mouth ever, ever again that they love the fetus because they hate the child. I also never want to hear America first because they are sacrificing at the altar of tribalism their integrity, their care for children, their concern for family values. This man is making these denials. He's lying at the pulpit of a church. This man is vile. This man is grotesque. This man is a slime bag. He is the sleaziest of the sleazy, cloaking himself in Jesus Christ's own shroud of Turin. I am so sick of these religious zealots telling me that they have more morals than I do. I never want to hear it again. Never. The President of the United States can claim no moral high ground. He can claim no integrity, no dignity, nothing. I never want to hear it again. They have endorsed, the party has endorsed, the Republicans have endorsed a pedophile, a freaking pedophile for the U.S. Senate. And there is no doubt.
How much more evidence do you need?
Because
First of
there's
all,
no evidence,
Roy Moore is a liar.
evidence.
He's a liar. He lied about taking money. He lied about taking. Let's go over this.
Yeah.
Let's look at Roy Moore. He lied about taking over $1 million from a foundation that he claimed that he didn't take any money from. That was supposed to be a small salary. It was over $1 million. He lied about that. He lied about not knowing any of these accusers whatsoever. Yet two of them have handwritten notes from him.
Seriously.
One in a yearbook and one in a scrapbook, which came out today in the Washington Post. And the woman that came out and showed her scrapbook that had contemporaneous written in notes about him being at her high school graduation and sending her a card. She said that she initially was uncomfortable with what the other women were saying. She couldn't believe that he would do that until she saw that he lied about not knowing her because he dated her in public. She was 17, he was 34. He also called a high school girl in her trigonometry class.
Remember?
He's claiming he doesn't know all these girls, and you have over 30 to 40 contemporaneous witnesses that also corroborated these
30 to 40 witnesses.
So what more do you need at this point?
Let me just read this. This is the last line.
Hold on,
I'm going to let you respond, Ed. I am. I just want to, as Tara was saying, this is the last paragraph in the Washington Post. She said, and she talks about the tape where he was speaking and
at a rally.
At a rally. This is the last line.
At the church.
It says at 34 minutes and 56 seconds into the video, he says unequivocally, "I did not know any of them," Gibson said. "In that moment, it changed my perspective. I knew he was a liar." She initially supported him. That's her thought.
Yeah, look, Don, look, what I'm saying to Tara, and she can go on a rant and she can list all these things, and the Washington Post is...
It's not a rant.
Why is it when you list facts that are overwhelmingly prosecutorial, that are overwhelmingly admitted, that are overwhelmingly accepted facts, you're on a rant? Is it a female thing, or is it just because Tara Setmeyer used to be the spokesperson for one Dana Rohrabacher Republican of California, Russia-phile. Okay, he loves Russia. I mean, Rohrbacher would hump Putin if he was given the chance. That's how much he loves him. But anyway, she was his spokesperson. This is no Democrat. Tara Satmeyer is a Republican and has been her entire life. And she's arguing with Ed Martin, who's going to rot in hell for his support of a pedophile, on national television night after night after night after night after night. These people, I mean, you talk about how in Christianity they say the lukewarm go to hell. Oh, these people are not lukewarm. These people are boiling in pedophilia and the cover-up of it. They are definitely going to hell. These are Satan's friends. These are, you know what it reminds me of? You remember that, you know I love movies, right? Okay, so remember The Devil's Advocate? Al Pacino, and then that overacting, Keanu Reeves, who's just, he's overactor. He's an overactor. But, the movie was watchable despite him. He portrays, at the very beginning, a lawyer in Florida who is defending a pedophile by putting a young girl who looks to be about 13, 14 in the movie on the stand to question her credibility because her teacher has sexually molested her. He convinces the jury that this little girl is either confused or lying about this pedophile and gets him off. And I don't mean in a good way. And the pedophile is set free. This is how the movie begins. Come to find out that he is he's the grandson of Satan, the devil's advocate. And his father, played by Al Pacino, is one of the biggest lawyers in all of New York City. And at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, when they asked him why the law, he goes, the law's into everything. Law takes over. Law gets into everything. You can change everything with the law. Which brings up, this whole thing about he used to fight religious liberty cases and all this stuff with voodoo guys who were sacrificing, like babies and goats. And it was violative of New York laws that you couldn't sacrifice animals in your apartment. Right. And he takes it to court and he wins based on religious liberty for a Satanist voodoo guy. OK, and that's what's going on at Supreme Court right now. They're hearing oral arguments about bakeries that want to put a sign in their window refusing to bake cakes for gay couples, even though the law in the United States says that if you are a business open to the public, you cannot discriminate based on sexual orientation. You ever go, Scotty and I were talking about this. He wasn't clear on how this argument might sound or go. And he said to me, so if I go to a restaurant, sometimes I'll ask, like they have a grilled fish. And I'll be in the mood for a pan-seared. Yeah, this is Scotty. I raised him, so, he knows good cooking. So he says, and I'll say to the waiter, I see you got a grilled fish, but I really want a pan-seared. I want a crusty. I'm in the mood for a crusty. I don't want grill marks. Can you do that for me? And they say no. And he says, why not? Because it's not on the menu. If a cake baker is putting out a menu of cakes that they regularly bake for ordinary people who are getting married, and you choose from that menu a cake, they cannot refuse to bake you that cake because your sexual orientation somehow offends them. But pedophilia doesn't. Isn't that something, everybody? Welcome to Sharia law. I'm so serious. Here's how Roy Moore's campaign, they're sending people out. I mean, this is why it became I was so nauseous last night. I swear to you, I needed to take something to calm my belly. I almost projectile vomited after this guy. This guy was on Erin Burnett's show last night. He is a Roy Moore defender named Dean Young. I think he might even be the campaign manager. And what really struck me, I used to live in this town. You'll see on the screen, he's broadcasting from Fairhope, Alabama. I actually lived in Fairhope, Alabama. Oh, yeah. That's another chapter in the book. That's a brutal chapter. That's a real, wow. Alabama, woo. But, yeah, here. Oh, this is just gross. Here's Dean Young defending Roy Moore.
Sean Hannity asked Moore whether he had dated teenagers when he was a man in his 30s, and here is how he responded.
Do you remember dating girls that young at that time?
Not generally, no. If I did, I'm not going to dispute anything, but I don't remember anything like that. I don't remember ever dating any girl without the permission of her mother.
Oh, gag.
So, Dean, are you okay with, if he did this, that it was okay for a man in his 30s to be dating teenagers?
Well, when you put it like that.
What I'm okay with is Judge Moore made it perfectly clear. If he did date a teenager, he didn't know about it. So I can't tell you how many times I've been on a date and didn't ask a girl how old she was, especially after I asked her mama if I could date them.
Well, he's not saying he didn't. He's saying I don't remember dating any girl without the permission of her mother. That's not saying he didn't know their age.
Okay. Well, then, I mean, here's the situation, Aaron. In Alabama, we believe
teenagers.
that Judge Moore is a godly man of integrity that doesn't do all the things that the fake media is trying to say that he does. And he doesn't. So all this is out of character, and all this, again, is just this, all of a sudden, 1 month before he's becoming the next senator, and he will be the next senator from Alabama, that's when all this stuff just explodes out in the open. So
yes, and I understand that, and that's a fair question, and perhaps that's because they feel like this person is now going to be in one of the highest offices in the land, and they feel like it's finally time to speak out.
Right.
I don't know, but I do know I spoke to one of Moore's accusers, Dean, Tina Johnson, and she says that Moore groped her in his office in 1991, and I asked her what she would say if Moore's campaign, if someone like you came out and called her a liar, and here's what she said.
The Lord that I serve is not the one Roy Moore serves, because my Lord knows that he did it. He knows it, and I know it. He can say whatever he wants to say. The truth will stand when the world won't, and that's the truth.
Is there a part of you in your heart, Dean, that wonders if maybe you're wrong and all these women are right?
No, there's not a part in my heart that wonders that.
Oh, jeez. Jazel Pete. Oh, Christopher Columbus, Mary and Joseph, and heavens to Murgatroyd. These people are unbelievably willfully blind. I mean, I think that's why Amazing Grace starts with the blind, and now I see. I mean, this guy's going to have to repent, and repent again, because they love the fetus in Poppy Harlow's belly, but they hate Lee Korfman as a 14-year-old girl. And they hate these women who came forward and these women who said, oh, and by the way, I must tell you, Debbie Gibson said he did not ask her mother. And Lee Korfman also said she didn't tell her mother. What is this thing what mama handed me over? What is that about? Well, their mama said that I could, molest them. I mean, I could really get graphic, so it becomes real for you if it's not. But this is just vile. This is unbelievable. These explanations, these willing it all away, this tribalism that anything that a person with an R after their name does is just fine, like Blake Farenthold did. I mean, naked pictures of him viral on the internet. $84,000 in settlement money paid from my tax dollars, your tax dollars, to his accuser because he did it, and he's still serving there. Meanwhile, John Conyers has to leave. They want Al Franken out of there, and Al Franken is a full frontal kisser, I told you. And if you are offended by the wet sloppiness of his lips that greet you when you first meet him, then he needs to go. That's just a fact. I myself have been greeted by Al Franken in this manner, and I found nothing aggressive, sexual, or malicious about that greeting. It was odd, I will say. I was, taken aback, but was I offended? No. Did I feel violated? No, I know what violation feels like, and that was not it. That was not it. Showing up in your underwears, laying a blanket out on the floor for a 14-year-old girl, taking her clothes off, grabbing her crotch, reaching under some woman on an airplane's dress. That is aggressive sexual assault. And what Roy Moore did was pedophilia and vomit-inducing, because the age of consent in Alabama is 16. Therefore, he had free reign to sexually assault anybody because they weren't underage. Plus, could we please consider that Roy Moore does not follow the law? You know, the president is out there endorsing Roy Moore because he says he wants a law and order guy. He wants a guy who's going to uphold the law, who's not bad on law and order issues. This is a pedophile. What is the worst law you could violate in our code of laws? I would say pedophilia is the worst. Although our justice system does not recognize pedophilia as being the worst thing you can do. It is murder. It is. You are murdering someone's soul. You are leaving it to them to be Lazarus, to rise from the ashes, to regroup, to reinvent themselves as a functioning human being, because you've taken away their innocence and you've taken away their childhood. It's murder. It's murder of a child. Oh my God. I mean, honestly, everybody, I got to tell you, this to me is the most vile of all the things I've ever seen the Republicans do. And I've seen them declare war on unarmed nations. I've seen them lie about the need to declare war. I've seen them kill millions of people with their bombs for no just reason. But the murder of a child's soul, the murder of a child's life, leaving that child to be Lazarus, to be a phoenix and rise from the ashes again? Oh, God! How can you do it, Alabama? How could you do it? Don't ever tell me family values. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.